Let's just dive right in, shall we? Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're looking at a classic David versus Goliath story. But we're not talking about swords and stones here. We're talking about modern markets, massive budgets, and how they are literally being completely beaten by incredibly clever, out-of-the-box thinking. If you've ever felt like you just don't have the resources, the money, or the team to compete with the big players in your field, well, this explainer is going to completely change your perspective. We're going to look at how everyday people are bypassing massive financial barriers to become true industry disruptors.
So here is the core mystery we're going to solve today. What on earth links a high-tech, digitally generated, viral 3D documentary on YouTube to a simple, grassroots, analog 10-rupee street snack sold from a wooden cart? I mean, on the surface, these two things have absolutely nothing in common, right? One requires cutting-edge computing, and the other, just a frying pan. But, as you'll see by the end of this explainer, they actually share the exact same underlying blueprint for massive success.
This comparison right here brilliantly illustrates the shift we're seeing today. To create a high-end 3D documentary the old way, you needed weeks of work, you needed an army of 3D animators, designers, editors, and a massive budget to pay all those people. It was basically an exclusive, gated community. But the new way? 1 hour, mostly free AI tools, a single creator sitting right at their desk. The traditional barriers to creating high-end, highly profitable digital content haven't just been lowered, they've literally been shattered.
Number 1. Case Study A. The AI Documentary Hack.
Look, there are creators out there right now producing these incredibly immersive 3D documentary-style videos that generate hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And they're doing the whole shebang without a Hollywood studio. How? Through this highly structured 5-step macro pipeline. It all starts with picking a trending topic. Then, step 1, writing the script. Step 2, breaking that script down into specific prompts for visuals. Step 3, generating high-quality 3D images based on those exact prompts. Step 4, animating those images into video clips. And finally, Step 5, generating a professional voiceover and editing it all together with some background music. What used to take a whole production company is now just a checklist for one single person.
Let's look at the exact tools making this possible. ChatGPT acts as your lead writer and creative director, helping generate scripts and the exact image prompts you'll need. But remember, the human touch is absolutely crucial here. You got to tweak that AI script to give it real emotion. Then, tools like ImageFX or Leonardo AI step in as your 3D animation team, creating hyper-realistic images out of thin air. Next, Top Media acts as your video production and audio department, turning those still images into clean, watermark-free videos and providing completely free documentary-style voiceovers. Finally, standard editing software brings it all together. These mostly free tools, they are the clever substitutes for a wildly expensive human animation studio.
And the result of this digital hack? Millions of views, a highly profitable channel, and absolutely zero money spent on hiring a traditional production team. By using clever technological substitutes, a single creator can punch way above their weight class and compete with massive media giants. But what happens when we take this exact same philosophy out of the digital world and drop it right into a dusty village market?
Number 2. Case Study B. The Kachori Market Battle.
Okay, we are traveling to the physical, analog world of Chandigarh village to see how the very same principle of clever substitution plays out when the stakes are literally real-world survival. It's a dramatic story of monopoly, desperation, and ultimate market disruption. In this village, the food scene was completely dominated by a vendor named Suraj. Suraj made a famously delicious mutton samosa kachori. People from neighboring villages would travel just to eat it. But Suraj gatekept his famous snack behind a very steep price, 100 rupees. Now, in a village of laborers, 100 rupees is a massive luxury. Suraj essentially held a total monopoly, and, well, he was quite arrogant about his success.
Enter Mohan. Mohan is a hardworking, poor laborer who only earns a meager daily wage. One day, exhausted from work, he stops at Suraj's stall. He only has 50 rupees on him, but he is just desperate to buy a single kachori to treat his wife, Radha, who has always wanted to taste it. Suraj cruelly turns him away, flat out telling him 50 rupees buys nothing here. And to make matters worse, later that day, a local moneylender actually confiscates Mohan's hard-earned wages to pay off a debt. So Mohan goes home to his wife completely empty-handed and heartbroken.
But Radha, seeing her husband's despair, decides to take matters into her own hands with a homemade solution. Using whatever leftovers she has in her simple kitchen, she crafts a kachori that is incredibly delicious. Actually, when Mohan tastes it, he realizes it's even better than Suraj's famous 100 rupee snack. The very next day, armed with a basket of Radha's homemade kachoris, Mohan hits the streets, selling them for just 20 rupees. Almost instantly, the villagers are blown away by the taste and the unbeatable price. Mohan's business just absolutely explodes.
And what does a monopoly do when it's threatened? They panic. Suraj sees the massive crowds flocking to Mohan. Terrified of losing his business, Suraj takes drastic action and slashes his own price in half, loudly advertising his kachoris for just 50 rupees. The villagers, obviously tempted by the massive discount on the famous brand, rush back to Suraj's stall, leaving Mohan's new business really struggling.
Now notice the stark contrast in how they deal with market pressure here. To afford that 50 rupee price cut, Suraj resorts to a really desperate shortcut. He secretly starts buying the cheapest, most rotten meat available. He's cutting his costs by sacrificing all quality and health standards. On the other side, we have Mohan and Radha. They absolutely refuse to feed people garbage, but they have an overwhelming need to innovate if they want to survive this price war. They need a major breakthrough.
And here is Radha's ultimate disruption. She tells Mohan not to worry. She goes back into the kitchen, works her magic, and the very next day, Mohan announces an impossible price to the village: 10 rupees. A 10 rupee mutton samosa kachori. The village goes wild. The taste is spectacular, the quality is undeniable, and at 10 rupees, Suraj's business is completely decimated. Mohan takes over the entire market.
But Suraj is infuriated. He knows the market prices. He knows that selling a mutton kachori for 10 rupees is literally mathematically impossible. You would lose money on every single sale. So Suraj starts investigating. He spies on Mohan. He tracks down Mohan's grocer and the local butchers, and he discovers something totally baffling. Mohan buys very high-quality vegetables and spices, but Mohan has never, not once, purchased a single ounce of mutton from the village butchers.
Convinced Mohan is running some kind of scam, Suraj drags him right in front of the village chief. The Sarpanch corners Mohan in front of the whole village, saying, "Mohan, you must tell everyone the secret of this cheap kachori today. If you don't tell the truth, your stall will be closed." The whole village is watching. The pressure is on. How on earth is Mohan selling meat for pennies?
Well, Mohan admits to the crowd, there is no meat in the kachori. None at all. The secret ingredients are katha, which is jackfruit, and soybean. Radha realized that by combining these cheap, healthy vegetarian ingredients with rich mutton spices, and by shaping the kachoris just slightly smaller, she could perfectly mimic the taste, texture, and entire experience of expensive meat. It was pure, unadulterated innovation. And you know what? The village doesn't care that it's not meat. They applaud Mohan for providing the delicious, honest, and wildly affordable food.
Number 3. Synthesis, the ultimate equalizer. So, let's connect the dots here. We've just looked at two completely different worlds: a digital creator navigating YouTube algorithms and AI software, and a village laborer navigating a street food price war. But structurally, they are the exact same story. On one side, the digital hack, using free AI tools to perfectly mimic the output of an expensive human animation studio. On the other side, the physical hack, using jackfruit and soybean to perfectly mimic the experience of expensive mutton. Both are brilliant examples of finding a clever substitute to bypass a massive financial barrier. In both cases, the dominant player gets completely outsmarted by someone who realizes, hey, they don't actually need the expensive ingredient to deliver the exact same value to the customer.
Which brings us to the absolute most important part of this explainer: you. What expensive barrier can you bypass with a clever substitute today? Whether you're building a business, learning a new skill, or creating art, you don't always need the massive budget, the fancy degree, or the real mutton. You just need to find your jackfruit. You need to find your AI tools. Keep looking for those clever substitutes because I promise you, they are the ultimate equalizers. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer today, and keep innovating.